Hey, this is episode 4 of the Online Learning Podcast. Let's get going. Are you making the most of the person you can be? Online learning is your gateway to expanding your horizons in a direction you may not even have thought of. Hello, I'm John Colley. Here on the Online Learning Podcast, we challenge you to find the online learning courses to take you to your next level. Expert in something? Why not create your own course and monetize that expertise? Come on, open this door with me and step inside the Online Learning Podcast. Well, hello and welcome. And today I think I've got a great show for you. I've got an interview with Pete Moxon, who's an expert in SAP, but more of that later. I've got a great marketing tip for you and also a superb programming-related free course recommendation. So let's crack on with the first segment and let's take a look at the marketing tip for this week. And now the Online Learning Podcast's marketing tip of the week. This week I've got a simple tip for you which you can use in conjunction with your blog. Now, I am assuming you have a blog, and I'm sure if you're into course creation, you are sufficiently experienced in the ways of the web to know that having your own blog, having your own home on the internet is a really important part of your overall social media marketing mix. And what I'm suggesting today is very simple. All you need to do is to take the image from your course and attach it with a link and put it in the sidebar of your blog so that everybody who comes to your blog and visits your website immediately gets the opportunity to see that you're offering a great course. Maybe you put a bit of text underneath it to imply there's some sort of offer, but make clear that this is a course they should go and visit, and they just click on the course and it takes them straight into your Udemy site where you can actually then allow them to buy your course from. So that's it. Put up a banner in your sidebar on your blog and drive your web traffic that's coming to your blog over to Udemy to buy your course. Now we come to this week's interview with Pete Moxon, who is an expert in SAP, which is the German enterprise resource planning software. So this is a real B2B guy who's actually training people who are working in the SAP software environment. But he's very experienced. He's been very successful on Udemy, and therefore I think what he has to say is going to be helpful for anybody in any segment to learn from Pete and his experience. So let's go over and meet Pete. And now it's time for this week's Course Creator Interview. Today I'm delighted to bring you an interview with Peter Moxon, who has been having tremendous success on Udemy with his courses, which are all based around his particular SAP, his expertise, which is in the SAP space. I think it's very interesting to talk with Peter today because he has got a very B2B expertise, and you might think that everything on Udemy is very B2C, but I think, as you'll find from the conversation, if you have a particular expertise, however niche and however specific, there's always going to be a demand for that. So, Peter, welcome to the Online Learning Podcast. It's great to have you along today.
Thanks very much, John. Pleasure to be here.
Let's start off by just helping people learn a little bit about you. So perhaps you can just explain very briefly who you are and what you do.
All right. Well, I'm a SAP sort of technology consultant. I've been working in the SAP space since, I think it's about 2001. And then since about 2004, I left the permanent job and went contracting, so working as a freelancer. And that's what I've been doing ever since. And then over the last, let's say, 2 years, I turned my attention to trying to share my knowledge. And that's when I came across Udemy and started to produce a few courses.
So what was your first experience of producing a course? How did that come about, and what did you do?
Well, it's quite funny. I thought I like teaching people, and part of my job as an SAP consultant is sometimes offering mentoring services to companies to bring their people up to speed on SAP technologies and so on. So I thought, great, I'll produce a course on some of the information that I know to help people in two ways. One, to get into SAP, and then one, to actually enhance their knowledge in the technology space for SAP to improve their careers. So I thought, I'll produce a course, and I thought, I outlined it, and I thought, okay, I'll do some recordings, screen recordings, a couple of presentations, bundle it all together, maybe about 4 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that in the evenings after work. Well, I think I'd gone 8 months of trying to do it part-time, and I got about 50% of the way through. So it was a real big learning curve, because once I'd actually started producing the course, I realized the quality of what I was producing was garbage. I had, a noisy microphone. I was recording the screens okay, but, the actual audio production was really poor, which just gave a bad feel to the overall presentations. But also learning how to present a course as well online was a lot different to what I'd done before in the mentoring and giving classroom training. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot harder to get started than I thought. But once I got certain techniques down, things did start to pick up. Now, I say, it took a long time. And what I decided to do was put my freelance work on hold to actually get the course done. So once I could focus some time on to actually get the course done, it took about 6 weeks to complete. Now, it still wasn't all plain sailing, because I found out that the editing process of creating my courses took an awful long time. Now, I don't know if that was because I was crap at recording. I kept making mistakes. But it seemed to take me an absolute age to work through the videos, get them edited so that they really flowed nicely and I could deliver a quality result, a quality product.
I think it's just part of the learning curve. I mean, it took me 6 months to produce my first course as well. But, once you've done it once, then that learning experience makes the second one a lot easier. So I would just say to anybody who's doing their first course, persevere. It's worth it. It's like learning to ride the bike. And once you're on the bike, the second course would be a lot easier.
Exactly, yeah. But I will say, when you say persevere, it's blooming painful while you're going through it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. I didn't have many smiles on my face every evening when I was finishing editing the the videos.
So now,
but anyway,
now you've got was it 4 courses on Udemy? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right. So once I completed the first one, I'd learned a lot of things, and then I waited a little bit of time before starting to produce the second one to see what the response was. And it really was a learning process from then on as well, because you will know yourself. A lot of what's involved in actually making a product sell online and getting people, well, not really sell, just getting people interested in your course and convincing them that it's going to be a benefit to them. Mm-hmm. It's all in the marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is communicating the benefits, isn't it? That's the real art to get the marketing across. Yes. We'll obviously talk about that in a minute. So a quick summary of what you've got out there now and how they've been doing, and then we'll hone in on the Spotlight course for this week.
Sure. So I think there's 4 courses live. Now, 3 of them are SAP focused. Mm-hmm. And that's my strongest niche. And then I did build a course on something else that I have a lot of experience in as well, and that's making digital magazines. But my core focus is SAP. And then I have a 4th SAP course, which is a follow-on to the first one that I produced. It's the first one was ABAP programming in SAP, and this one that I'm producing right now is a follow-on, a more advanced course to that.
Right. Gotcha.
And I may have a little tip there for actually how that's going, because even though the course isn't fully complete on Udemy, mm-hmm. I've made it available for sale. And It's been good in actually confirming that what I'm producing is what previous customers that have taken my courses actually want. So I've actually made it for sale and offered it as an early bird special type of thing. And people have jumped on board and signed up to actually get that course at a nice big discount. But it's given me proof that what I'm producing is what people want. And I'm getting good feedback on it already.
How much do you have to have up and published before you can do that?
So Udemy have changed their requirements lately. I don't know exactly when it was, but it used to be you had to have at least 1 hour's worth of video content online and to actually be able to publish your course.
Right.
But they won't make your course visible in the marketplace until it is 100% complete.
Gotcha. Yes, I'm familiar
But
with that.
yeah, they've recently, I think, changed that to having 30 minutes available. Now, I didn't go down to that limit.
Yeah, and then you've got that link. It has its own URL, so even though it's not visible in the marketplace, you can still send that link to people, and they can go to the course and sign up if they want to. Isn't that's the way it works, isn't it?
That's right. That's right. So I got a unique link taking people direct to that course, and I have my own email mailing list from my website that I sent a message out to, inviting people to take a look at the course, and if they want to take advantage of the early bird discount, they can do. And I'm pleased to say plenty did. Brilliant.
That's a really good tip, and we haven't even got to the tips yet. Fantastic. So which course are we going to spotlight today?
So I think the best one would be the Beginner's Guide to ABAP. It's SAP ABAP Programming for Beginners Online Training.
And
that's
ABAP
the
is
complete.
ABAP.
That's right, yeah. ABAP stands for Advanced Business Application Programming.
Right.
Now, for those who are not familiar with SAP, SAP is an enterprise software company. And if you think really of any large company in the world, I don't know what the figures are, but probably 80% of your Fortune 500 are going to be using SAP systems to actually help run their business. And the ABAP programming language is how their applications are written. So anybody in the technology space that wants to get working with enterprise-level software, even though lots of companies use things like C++ and there's Java, PHP, all that type of thing, what a lot of people don't really realize is enterprise software can be a different kettle of fish. And SAP, for example, is a multi-billion-dollar company. And when you think of who uses it, just off the top of my head, there's Barclays Bank, there's Shell, BP, Coca-Cola, just any big company really that you can think of, and they use it, Adobe, and lots of companies like that. So having ABAP programming as a skill set is actually, a real good thing if you want to get into enterprise programming.
So just without going into too much detail, what is the sort of the structure of the course and what does it cover?
So the course is it's aimed at those people who want to learn ABAP. And there's really two key people that the course is focused on. First of all, it's people who want to get started in SAP development, but then also business analysts and functional consultants that already know SAP but want to learn about the technical side as well. So what this does, it takes you from the ground level of really just getting your feet wet with the very basics of SAP, just using the system, how you might create a table, and then it starts to take you through the programming language at a very, very early stage, creating your first program in just a couple of lines of code, to all the way through to understanding all the main concepts of the language, and then using the already built SAP coding modules that are available for SAP customers to take advantage of. So it really is sort of an A to Z to get people up to speed with ABAP to the stage where they could start or they could start searching for an ABAP junior programming job with any company, really.
And I mean, you covered a number of topics there, which is who, what does it cover, who is it for, and some of the benefits. What sort of feedback have you had from people who have taken the course, reflecting the sort of the benefits of doing the course?
I've had some really, really good feedback. I'm browsing my own website right now, but I'm having a look at the Udemy page, and I think 63 people have left a review.
Yeah.
And I think the average, looking at the stars, must be something like, what we got, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think. I mean,
yeah,
it's
something like that. So it's got really high reviews. But one of the things I've done as well is I've kept in contact with the people that have taken the course. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, everybody doesn't respond, and they don't want to communicate back and forth. But there's lots of people that have started using what they've learned in the course in their job. Mm-hmm. And there's a few people as well that they've got in touch with me and said that the course has been fantastic, and it's actually helped them get their career started in the ABAP programming world.
Oh, brilliant. So it's a real benefit. And it must be from the alternative, and this is going back to a conversation we had last week, from the alternative of going and doing some sort of professional, and I'm not suggesting this is not professional, but going to a training school and doing a 6-week course or a 1-week course or whatever it is, it must be much, much more cost effective. Even assuming, if you live in India or somewhere, in the Midwest, in the States, being able to find somebody who's running that sort of training at a price you can afford must be very difficult.
Yeah. I mean, if you take a look at the SAP training that's generally available, SAP themselves, I mean, they're the premium company for delivering training, and the training that they produce is very good. I've taken some of their courses myself, but when you look at the cost, that they are focused at the business customer, and they're priced appropriately for that as well. Mm-hmm. And if you go to their website and have a look at their training material, you'll see just in the ABAP space, I'm just guessing off the top of my head, but there's probably at least 15 individual ABAP courses because it's so expansive in what it covers. But each course is charged at round about, I think it's something like $500 or $600 per day. Gosh. Now, the type of course that I produce is the equivalent of, I would say at the minimum, a 5-day course. But I would say it covers quite a few of their courses in one. So we're probably looking closer to 10 days.
Yeah. No, it's
so when you compare the actual...
Absolutely. One of the brilliant things about the online learning space that I'm very excited about is because you're detaching yourself from having to be in a classroom for 8 hours a day training people, you can reach a much wider audience online, but particularly on the Udemy platform where I think there's over 1 million students, and consequently the pricing of courses can reflect that. So I think it's a tremendous...
That's right,
tremendous plus,
yeah. I mean, one of the goals for me on Udemy that from what I produce, I want to make some money from Udemy in actually selling my courses. But at the same time, if I can make it as affordable as possible for anyone to take my courses, then I'm all for that. I mean, it comes to the fact that the more people take the courses, the lower I can make the prices of what I produce.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, I mean, if possible, if I had thousands of people signing up, I'd be dropping the prices of my course as low as I could. The more people come, fantastic, great. I'll lower the courses and keep producing more at a really low price level, just to give training, good quality training that you just can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, and you've got an amazing offer for us a bit later on. Before we get to that, can we turn, because we've talked a lot about your course, but I'd also like to dip into your experience, particularly post-production when you come to marketing the course. And have you got a tip you can share with us on the sort of the marketing side, really aimed at somebody who's created a course, and you can help them out either with the creation process or the production process or the marketing process, that based on your experience?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I could say things like that are pretty generic, like you must have an email mailing list on your own website. Even say you've got to have your own website to help bring people in. But one of the keys for me in actually selling my courses Not just the first time people coming in, but once I produce a second course or third course, is once somebody has signed up for the course and they like it, give you good feedback, you need to be making notes of this and always set up a channel where you can get back in touch with them. Now, an email mailing list is one way, but another thing that I've done with this course, and I do for all my courses now, is I've set up a student Facebook group specific for my courses. Now, I didn't think of this myself. I was trying to think of, how I can interact with the students. I didn't want to go to the extent of building my own forums and things like that, because people, there's lots of platforms out there where people can communicate, and having my own forum isn't, for me, I know that I don't want to keep signing up to lots of individual forums. So I created this Facebook group, and I posted a message on my courses saying, great, thanks for signing up. Please sign up to this Facebook group, which is obviously the most popular social media site that we've got right now. And by students joining in there, we actually communicate on a regular basis. Students ask questions, but not just about the course. They ask questions about, they may have a problem within their business. They're trying to write a program or something like that. And they can post a question there. I'll either answer or somebody else will answer, giving tips, giving them options of, well, have you tried doing this? And that type of thing. And there's other things as well. I posted sort of the odd post on there about job opportunities for those looking to get into the marketplace. And things like that. So having a Facebook group has then allowed me to stay in touch with those students that have joined up to the courses, which then helps me in promoting other courses that I build later on. And those people, those people that are part of that group, I always make sure I give them the best deals that I can on any courses that I'm producing, which they're thankful for. I mean, you'll actually see, well, if you could get into the group, you would see posts there saying, that the courses are so cheap compared to what SAP produce. It's really a no-brainer in signing up. So, so I would say start something like that. I'm not saying use Facebook, but use something where you can keep an open channel with your customers.
And this is a closed Facebook group, presumably, so it's invitation only.
It is. I made it a private one because I'm sure you'll know. We all see it. We see spammy messages all over the place. Yeah. And even with a private Facebook group, I've always got people asking to join that they've never taken the course. They've just somehow got a link for the Facebook group. They want to join, and I've made the odd mistake of allowing them to join. Then all of a sudden, I see the group being spammed with messages about download this, download that, and it's complete garbage. So that's why I've kept it private.
Yeah. No, that's a really good tip, and something I shall give serious thought to. Actually, I think it sounds a very interesting idea. Let's move on to the offer you've got for the online learning podcast community, because you've got a great discount offer on your ABAP course for them today. What are you able to share with us?
Okay, so this ABAP course, the ticket price, which I will say for anybody who wants to take my course, is never pay the ticket price. Go search for a coupon somewhere. Yeah. But I do offer the website for sale on my own website at saptraininghq.com. Nice little plug there. I hope you don't mind, John.
We'll definitely get the links to where people can find you at the end to make sure. Yeah. And all this will be in the show notes so that people can find that in the show notes.
Okay, great. Yeah. Great. So, I put discount links on my own website. But for the listeners of the podcast, I'm more than happy to give a nice big discount where they can pick up this ABAP beginners course for $99.
That's fantastic.
Which is it's $269 as a ticket price, so it's quite a big discount.
So that's about 60% off. That's
it's a bigger discount than I offer on my website. So
brilliant. Well, that's what we want to do. We want to create real value for for people if they want to buy something which is very, very high quality, as well as trying to give them free information and free tips and things. So that's brilliant. So what's the code for that? What's the discount?
Okay, that code. Yeah, I've created a special one for this podcast. It's OLP ABAP.
Right, and the best way to get that code will be if you just put in jbdcolley.com/OLPABAP, and that'll take you straight there, and it will include the discount in it. That will also take you through the affiliate scheme on Udemy, so that's an affiliate link, and I will get a commission from that if you use that code, for which I'm extremely grateful. You won't pay any more. It just means that Peter is going to get less money. If you wish to avoid the affiliate scheme, you can just go straight to Udemy, find his course, put in that code on its own, and Peter will split the proceeds purely between him and Udemy, and that's great too. It's entirely up to you how you want to do it. But the main thing is you're getting an amazing discount on the course. It's OLP ABAP, Alpha Bravo, Alpha Papa. So that's brilliant, Peter. Thank you very much. How can people
Can I just say one more thing, John?
Yeah, of course. Say whatever you like. Yeah.
I mean, this course is sort of the niche I work in is SAP, so lots of people haven't heard of it. And if you are thinking it may be something of interest, it might not be the best thing for me to say, but I would say don't go signing up for the course straight away. Do some research on SAP, because it covers a wide range of sort of business topics, and learning to program SAP might not be exactly what you want. But of course, if it is, by all means, go ahead. I just don't want to, send people over there if they're thinking, well, is it really worth looking into? You really have to be committed to actually wanting to work in SAP.
And the other thing I'd add to that is actually, Udemy has a 30-day no-quibble money-back guarantee. So if you then, after you've done your research and you're still not entirely sure, you can buy the course, and within 30 days, if you then convince yourself, having gone through it, that it's really not for you, you can get a full refund on the course, and you just press the refund button and you'll get your money back. And therefore, from that point of view, there's little risk to you. Obviously, we don't want to encourage lots of people to go and try and do the course and then refund it straight away. And my experience has been that people are pretty straightforward. But it does mean that if you're not sure and it turns out not to be you, you will get your money back. And I think that's really important, because we only want this. We only want people to buy the course if it's really going to benefit them, and we don't want people to spend money if it's not. So great point, Peter. Thank you very much. How can people find you? What's your website, and how can people get in touch with you if they want to?
Okay, my website is saptraininghq.com, so they can go there and have a look at the blog and see what I post. I post on there on a regular basis, so they can leave comments. But if you want to get in touch with me directly, by all means do. You can send me an email at pete@saptraininghq.com. Great, and I'll put that. No spam, please.
I'll put that in the show notes, but I'll put it in square brackets so that bots don't pick up the email address. Brilliant, Peter. Thank you very much for your time today. It's been brilliant to have you on, and it's always great to learn from people who have got your experience of creating online courses. I've actually been doing your Apple Newsstand app course, and I'm blown away by the fact I might be able to do a bit of HTML programming soon. So that's very exciting.
Great, fantastic.
And I can say from personal experience that I really enjoy your teaching style, because you're very, very methodical, and you go through it in a way that even I can understand. So if I can pick up coding, then anybody can. Peter, it's been great to have you on. Thank you ever so much, and look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Fantastic. Thanks, John.
So that's the interview with Pete Moxon. And Pete, thank you very much for your time. That was really insightful, and I shall put all the links in the show notes. I'm going to keep up the HTML programming link now as we go over to our free course recommendation of the week. Let's take a look at this week's free course of the week. This week, I'd like to draw your attention to a course called HTML Training for Beginners by Ben Fahala. And Ben, again, F-A-H-A-L-A, I hope that's pronounced correctly. And he is one of the leading programmers over at O2 Geek, who've got a number of courses up on Udemy. Now, this course is absolutely free. It has already got 8,790 users and 171 reviews. It includes 28 lectures and an hour of content, and it's all about helping you learn how to use HTML. So if you are working on your own blog and you want to spice it up a bit, then this is a really good place to start and get some fantastic knowledge really economically, i.e. completely free. So Ben, thank you for that. It looks like a really interesting course. I think this is one I'm definitely going to have a go at, and I hope everybody else enjoys it as well. So that is this week's free course recommendation of the week. It's HTML Training for Beginners by Ben Fahala, and I will put all the connections in the show notes. So that's it for another episode of the Online Learning Podcast. I really appreciate you being with me. If you enjoyed the show, I would really appreciate it if you would go over to iTunes and leave me a rating, preferably a 5-star rating if you think it's worth it, and a comment. And then if you email me, john@jbdcolley.com, that's Juliet Bravo Delta Colley.com, I will send you a free coupon code to my Udemy course, An Introduction to Startups, which has got 40 minutes of video teaching you all about startups. So thank you very much for spending time with me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. This has been the Online Learning Podcast.